And 4 minutes, athletes, 4 minutes. Good morning, and welcome to Wodland Fest, your CrossFit qualifying event here of this 2025 season. Bienvenido, Córdoba. Que estamos ya preparando ese evento número 1.
And that's Joe Siastola on the mic back there, telling everyone here in Cordoba that we are getting ready for Wildland Fest 2025, test number 1, La Puente de Cordoba. This event takes place in Cordoba, Spain. The rest of the workouts will take place back in Málaga, starting this evening and then continuing over the next 2 days. About 130 elite athletes from all over the world, North America, South America, Australia, Asia, and dozens of countries all around Europe represented here. My name is B.Friendly. We'll be on site this weekend bringing you the coverage. It's just me, so I'll do the best that I can. We got the phone, we got the gimbal, and we got Rodri back in Madrid helping me out with all the technical side of things. Chad Mueller on the graphics. But it's just us putting this on. Grateful that Alfonso's asked us to do this. It's honestly is a privilege to be able to represent these athletes who represent incredible communities back home. And so for any of you who are here to support them, we'll do our best to do the coverage justice and the athletes justice for the work that they're about to do. So I'm going to step out of frame. You won't see me very much. Athletes in heat 1 of 6 are about to take the floor. We're going to have 6 heats this morning, men and women in both heats, a maximum of 12 per gender in each of the heats. Athlete warm-up area is down there below. But as far as the competition floor goes, you see athletes taking the floor. On the left side of the screen is going to be the men on the green mats and walking towards us. Excuse me, the camera angle wrong here.
All right, athletes, get
walking
ready.
Towards us on the left side of the screen. Lane 1 is in the front. Lane 1 is supposed to be empty, unless they've condensed the lanes down here. There's an athlete in lane 1, but I don't have let me see if I can see who that is. What's this guy's name? Miguel Garcia, man. In lane 1.
Miguel, sí.
En línea 1.
Miguel en lane 1.
No estás en 2. Ok. Creo que es 2, ¿no?
El número 2 este.
¿Está aquí?
Miguel Garcia in 2. Daniel Goulet out of Canada will be in lane number 3.
150 and 200
Sam Whitworth from the UK.
To wake up on this beautiful
Lane
morning.
3, Tyler Clark out of Australia and UAE, where he's been for a while. Tim Sine out of France. Lane 6. Joni Mata out of Finland. Lane number 7. Joseph Hurley from the UK. Lane 8. Lane 9, it looks like it's going to be empty. Lane 10. Oh, sorry, Nero.
Ready?
Lane 10, we got Kyung-hee Lim out of South Korea. Diego Calderon out of Costa Jeunesse. Right there, the women will be on the other side. Closest to us in the green bottoms there, we got Sofia Benayi from Morocco. Next to her, Lauren Hunter from the UK. The yellow shirt over there. Kertu Aho out of
10
Finland.
seconds.
Christina Peterson out of Germany in the white and black.
Stand by.
It's going to be a scratch. Camille Barbeau from France there in the all pink. Chelsea Ranieri from the United States. Roxanne Co-Chair out of France. And Jonathan Bengtsson from Sweden. And that'll round out heat number 1. La Puente. 20 squats. You can hold it any way you want. Obviously, you have to go below parallel and extend the hips at the top. You see some different strategies. In lane 2 there, Miguel with the bear hug. Not what I expected most of the athletes to do. I think him and Sam Whitworth are the only two doing it. It's 200-pound sandbag for the men, 150 for the women. Actually, looks like Camille Barbeau for the women has it in the front rack, and Miguel's going to be out on the run first. A bunch of athletes coming behind. Kertu Aho there is going to be the first female. Several of the men. I mean, to run some more separation for the women than the men in this first round. There goes Camille Barbeau, second woman out of the chute here and onto the run across the bridge.
por esta preciosidad.
And lane number 3 there,
El Puente
Daniel
de
Goulet getting
Córdoba.
called back.
Una de las
2 reps
maravillas
to
del
go.
mundo. Y una vez más, muchísimas gracias a Ichaco, Instituto Municipal de Deportes de
Not the start to the
Córdoba,
competition, he was
por
fine.
estar aquí con
I want to show
nosotros.
you guys the track here, and then we'll try to catch up with the leaders coming back in. Beautiful city of Cordoba, the old part of the city in the background there. And pretty cool, they blocked off half the bridge for this event. The city of Cordoba is the sponsor for this workout. Test number 1 of what will be 7 this weekend. And since it's called the bridge, Chelsea. Since it's called the bridge, La Puente, we're going to show you guys the bridge here, at least in the first run of the first heat, so you guys can see what the athletes are experiencing. So the left side's blocked off here. Right side still has pedestrians walking up and down it. And a couple of the athletes still making their way out here, having some difficulty with that sandbag, but we'll be waiting for the leaders to head back towards us, and it looks like there's a pack of them that have made the turn over there. 800 meters, the listed distance for the run. I did not get a chance to run it or map it out this morning, but from a time perspective, it seems like it's going to be pretty close to that. So let's see who the first guys coming back are. Miguel Garcia Mahler was the first man out of the gate, but he also had the spot that was closest to us. Diego Calderon is actually been leading the guys coming back in, and he has a mat that's a little bit closer to the, he'll get to his mat beforehand. So that's going to be Diego. Miguel Garcia will be after him. I'll wait for the first couple women to come as well. Probably going to have some guys coming back out on this second run while there's still several athletes making their way back in from the first one. Kyung P. Lim, Sam Whitworth. Here is Kertu Aho out of Finland. And Joni Mata, also from Finland, right behind her. And there is Camille Barbeau, closing some distance there on the run. So let's make our way back down here and see what's going on with at least the top 2 women and maybe the top 6 or 7 men.
Ya van llegando nuestros atletas masculinos. Y aquí vemos también a nuestras atletas que
15 sandbag squats into the second round. And you see the athletes will go down the right and circle back around.
the sandbag squats.
Miguel here in the foreground with the front rack again. Sam Whitworth, 2 lanes down from him. Tim Sine in the brownish colored clothing on the back rack. And on the other side of the floor, Yanni Mata is getting it up. Miguel's going to be out first, so Garcia will overtake Diego Calderon here on the middle set of squats. On the right, both Kertu Aho and Camille Barbeau with the front rack for the bear hug option for the squat. There goes Diego Calderon, so see if he passes Miguel on the run again. The last round ends with the run. So if they exchange leads, squats to run, it may favor the runner in the last round.
You're just coming up on about 5 minutes into this 20-minute time cap. Let's go, Cora.
Hurley went out. Here comes Lim. And Barbeau has taken over the lead here on the women's side. There to Aho right behind her. The women are really strung out here in this first heat. Let's go with the ladies.
Joining us here for this CrossFit qualifying event. Let's not forget top 2 men.
And the other women coming back in.
If they're inside that top 1% of the open, we'll be punching their ticket games bound. Here we can see Sam Whitworth.
So those are the top 2 ladies. Yoni Mata. I love the events like this when, you know, they're through the cities. We had this in Pamplona a couple years ago, where Pixel Showdown as well, and just people who are out doing their sightseeing, or if they're locals, walking around, and they get to see some of the most talented in the world doing these events. They're probably like, what is going on here? But good opportunity to get some exposure as well. The leaders for the men are coming back there. It looks like a bit of a tight running course, but so far there's been no issues at all. Plenty of space to go in both directions. And Diego just making the pass now on Miguel. I'll try to go with these guys back in, and we'll take a look at the last 10 squats and see if Miguel can open up that lead once again. In the blue shorts there, one of the women, Lauren Hunter, heading out in the other direction. So here's Diego Calderon with the fit process out of France. And Miguel Garcia right behind him. Same pattern as we saw in the first run. Sophia heading out there. A couple of the other women. There's Chelsea. Shout out to Wes Peters back in the U.S. He's her coach.
All right, once again, it's going to be Diego Calderon and Miguel Garcia, vuestros doctors, as they join us here on that final rounds.
So we'll keep an eye from here. Miguel's going to be in the foreground. Diego's going to be way back there in almost the last lane in the gray. He has his hands on it, and he's going to get it up first. 7:22 on the clock.
He is going to have a 3-rep advantage, making it for Diego Calderon.
On the right side of the screen, Roxanne Cocher finishes up some squats and chill it on the second run. Miguel, super fast on these squats once again, but Diego's going to drop it. And Diego Calderon, he'll know that he can beat Miguel on the run. The question's going to be by how much, because it's going to be 5 more heats of men, and they're heading out at 7:55.
Going for his final 800-meter run. Still waiting for
leaders for the women coming in. Yoni Mata,
and it looks like there she is.
Camille Barbeau out of France, Lim out of South Korea, and Kerto Aho is second for the women here in the yellow. Let's see if we can get a little bit of a close-up on the top 2 women here.
Y el atleta coreano que tenemos a Hyun-Hee Lim en la calle número 10.
Camille Barbeau in the all pink in the foreground. Right behind her, lane 6 for the men. That's Tim Zini, out of France. And Barbeau blitzes the 10 squats, 3 to go for Aho, and it's going to come down to that final run. Barbeau's started behind, but made the pass in the second round and is maintaining it into the final run here. See if Yoni Mata can finish up one more squat in the last round. He'll head out for the final time. Big representation out of Finland at this competition, as well as Iceland, Norway, and Sweden. Scandinavia has absolutely showed us huge here.
Making his way in for that final set of 10.
Lauren Hunter coming back in. Let's see if we can find the boss man, Alfonso, over there on the right. Thumbs up and smiling. Love to see that. He's put in so much work to make this happen, especially this offsite event. There's Luis Enrique, staple at high-level competitions all over the world, always helping out any way he can. And the leaders will be coming back in for the men. The women coming towards us are at the end of their second round. Lim heading out on his final run. Sophia's coming towards us, and it is actually pretty close between Diego and Miguel here. Again, Diego will have that advantage. We're going to run with him in there, try to get a time on the board. So Diego Calderon's got about a 5-meter lead here over Miguel Garcia Mahler. They got to get back to the black mats. The downhill will carry them in. We'll bring in the top 2 guys, and then we'll try to pick up the women.
Nos acercamos a los 10 minutos y cuidado, carrera final. We got a final sprint. Diego Calderon.
Black mat is what we're looking for.
Your top 2 athletes. Un fuertísimo aplauso.
Diego Calderon, 10:24.
A big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Miguel Garcia at 10:30.
Segunda posición.
See if we can find the women coming in.
And finishing off in 10 minutes, 24 seconds for Calderon.
The women will not have to go around. They're just coming on that straightaway and just jump into the left to get onto their mat to finish.
Sofia Benani.
Athletes coming in here for the women are on their second round still. The men coming back are, well, Goulet actually is also on his second run. He's in the blue shirt there. Murphy and Mata are going to have a heck of a race. This is going to be a tight one. And Barbeau is going to be the third athlete coming in. So Murphy should be getting ready to finish here, and Yoni Mata will be right behind him. See if we can make sure to get as many of the finishes as possible for you
And
guys.
the two athletes were Camille Barboda and Ketuano, who lifts.
On the mat, we'll call it 11:46.
Final round. Who's it
Yoni
gonna
Mata,
be?
11:50.
On the peak coming
Here
in.
comes Barbeau.
This
This will be the women's winner. 11:56.
11 minutes 56 seconds.
Here comes Aho. So she looks like she's going to take second here. Kerto Aho out of Finland. Got to get to her mat and jump in there.
On
Call it 12:16. So 2 women in, 4 men so far. Roxanne Cochert there on her squats. Here is Kyung Hee Lim. Getting ready to finish up.
Who's also going to be closing it out as he's making his way around lane number 11.
He gets on 12:37.
Finishing off.
Goulet in the blue on the left working on his final 10 squats. Sini coming around the corner. He's looking to finish out La Puente here. Well, at 12:52, 20-minute time cap. Everyone really should be able to finish this. Out of the UK, here comes Sam Whitworth. A little bit of a pain face there, but last finishing stretch for him. Last rep there
Here we can
for
see
Cochert, and she bails out at the bottom.
Also down here, lane number 4.
Whitworth.
Let's go, let's go.
13:14. Sam Whitworth is in.
Closing it down, an unofficial time of 13:15.
I came to Spain and I saw people partying. I thought to myself,
No one else coming around the corner here, so see if Cochert can get that last squat done. Goulet's got 2 to go.
So at the
I don't
moment,
mind
the
the
times to beat.
Kind of high
10
time
minutes,
cap
24
here.
seconds
It's
on
an event that you definitely want people to finish, especially ending with the run. It's never great to have a bunch of people out there on the final run when the time cap
down
is.
here. Your heat number 1, El Puente, Córdoba.
Say 1 to go for Goulet.
Here we can see
Male athlete.
also making a way for that final sprint.
Warren Hunter coming in on the right.
So
lane 5. Tyler Clark gets in about 14 minutes. Warren Hunter about 2 seconds after that. There is Diego Calderon. Congratulating Miguel. Top 2 men in Heat 1 here.
and I said,
And we got a couple of the women coming in. Could be a tight race here. Chelsea really digging deep. And lane number 3, Angelica Benston, 1 second ahead of Chelsea Rainieri. Both of them about the 14:30 mark. So the winners of heat number 1 on both the men's and women's side out of France. Diego there on the left, and in the pink, Camille Barbeau.
Y ya tenemos a todos los atletas en esa última carrera, esos últimos 800 metros.
Bunch of the other men here circling around, congratulating each other. We got a few other finishers coming in here. 2 more women getting set to finish.
Y espero que estemos disfrutando, Córdoba, los mejores atletas mundiales. Aquí con nosotros en el CrossFit Qualifying Event.
Christina Peterson in lane 8 got across, and then in lane 11, Sofia Benani. You got a chance to talk to Christina yesterday. She's one of many athletes here who's competing in their highest level competition that they've competed in yet, and that's part of the beauty of this event. It does have a big field of elite athletes, is that some of these up-and-coming athletes are newer to the sport, get a chance to, test themselves and stack themselves up against some pretty well-established athletes that you guys are going to see in later heats.
Diego Calderón, sí señor. Represents.
all day,
Look at this guy.
all night,
All right, we got about 9 minutes until the next heat.
all day.
A lot of heats to get through. So we're gonna send to the holding screen, and we'll be back with heat number 2 of test number 1
Just under 4 minutes.
here
Nos
from
quedan menos de
Cordoba.
2.5 minutes, athletes. As we get ready for that heat number 2 is going to be joining us here on the competition floor. Once again, if you are just joining us,
Heat 2 in the staging area, getting ready to take on test number 1 here in Cordoba. Test number 1 is an off-site event with some sandbag squats and 800 meters of running after each set. 200-pound sandbags for the men, 150 for the women. The heats consist of both men and women. It's heat 2 of 6, and here they come. For the men, Jan out of Poland, Alexander from Russia. We'll let him come in and we'll try to introduce you to him.
Lane number 3, Alexander Flushking and Angelica Bengtson. Lane number 4, Ben Lindstrom and Roxanne Potter.
Sian Dunphy here, out of the UK. Chris Chambers of the USA. Alexander Marslak out of Spain. Sam Zerlik from Finland. Pierre Demoule, training partner with Diego Calderon in France, who just won that first event. Aaron Madrid out of Spain. There's Ale Del Guadio from the Canary Islands. Mikel Van Giesium out of Spain. I always struggle with his name. He's from Belgium, excuse me. Fredrik Lindstrom from Sweden. Alexander Pushkin out of Russia. And Jan Buzniak from Poland on the women's side. So we got women and men from all over the world here in lane number 2. Min Jong Kim, South Korea. Anaïs Lancre, France. Danae Fernandez Miglioria, Argentina. Empty, lane number 6. Lydia Bartoszewicz from Germany. Chiara Sudati out of Italy. Marina Rios Lopez, Spain. Emma Galova, Slovakia. Lisa Laiko, Finland. And Sina Hartel out of Switzerland. Awesome international field here at Wodland Fest. Probably worth noting that the temperature is only going to get hotter as we go. It's going to be that 10 to 15 minute time domain for most of the athletes. Sandbag squats and running. So potentially advantageous to get the early draw, at least from the heat perspective. But certainly the caliber of the athletes in the later heats is more well established. And it's always nice to go against the best. Sometimes that pulls you along. All right, 20 sandbag squats to start. You can hold them any way you want. Bear hug, one shoulder, two shoulders. And pretty tough to get all 24 athletes in a good shot here, but we'll let them get out on that run, and then we'll show you guys the bridge. We'll go out there probably in each round a little bit, and at least get the leaders for each, the men and the women, across the line. Try to get you times for as many of the finishers as possible. First of 7 scoring opportunities this weekend. 3-day competition. And bags down for several of the athletes at the same time. I think Fredrik Lindstrom is actually out first. Here comes Anaïs Lancre on the women's side. Lisa Laiko right behind her, and here comes a bunch of others. So again, more of the men done before the women on the first round. All the men now done.
As everybody is finished.
Lane 11, Sina Hartel. She'll head out there. And I think we have 2 women left with the sandbags here.
Wodland Fest, your CrossFit qualifying event.
Lydia heading out. Last rep here. Lane number 7. Chiara Sudati out of Italy. And all of the men and women in this heat will be out on the run. Across, well, not across, but down and back on La Puente de Cordova.
En este segundo workout, el Puente en este preciosa ciudad de lo que es Córdoba, que estamos ya preparando. Tiempo a batir. Aquí tiene nuestro amigo Brian.
Left side of the bridge blocked off for the athletes here, so down and back on the same side. Fredrik Lindstrom. I'm laughing because I know who's watching Fredrik back in Sweden, and they're loving it. He was the first one out on the run. He had a kind of a good position, so I have to make up a little distance getting back in, but he is leading the pack. It's going to be mostly men up at the front. Top 2 women were not far behind, so we'll bring some of the guys past us, and then we'll probably go in with the leading women. Pick them up in the middle set of sandbag squats, 15 in the middle round. Actually, Sam Zerlich there out of Finland leading the charge. Frederick's right behind him in the light blue top. And then Chris Chambers, I think, in between them. So Sam, I think that's Chris, Frederick, and Ale de la Guardia. Keep an eye on Ale de la Guardia this weekend. Very strong athlete from the Canary Islands. We saw him in Dubai Fitness Championships last year and a couple of significant lifting events. There's Alexander Plushin, Michel out of Belgium, Jan representing Poland, and Anais Lankry is the first woman here, but she's got a couple right behind her. Anais trains in Mallorca. Big contingency of their athletes as well. And the next two women. So we'll go in with the girls and we'll pick up both the men and the women on this second round of sandbag squats. All three of the top women are within about 10-15 meters here, so this sandbag squats will potentially prove to be a separator.
Number 3, Anais Lankre,
6 men on the sandbag already, and Jan getting ready to join them. Anais not wasting any time getting that up.
Second place.
Chambers down there at the end, and Zerlich should have been the first two to the bag. Both moving it super well. Lisa Laiko and Marina Rios Lopez were the other two women. Frederick Lindstrom, Sam Zerlich, and Chambers. Chris Chambers all going out again. Top three guys in a tight pack there. We'll catch them on the way back. See how it shakes out on the women's side here. Anais is done. Let's see if Lisa Laiko has posed any ground on her. Slower cycle speed on the squat, so Anais Lankry, Lucien, and De La Guardia are out, so 5 men out on the second run. Anais is the one who made up some ground there. And Anais Lankry will be looking to not just win this heat, but to send a message to the next 4 heats. Here goes Michael. Jan. Pierre and Aaron, I believe, were the other two guys just heading out. Lane number 2, Min Jung Kim right here. And Lisa Laiko is now making her way out there, so she's hold the second spot down. Sian Dunphy there in the maroon. Marina Rios Lopez, I believe, the third woman out on the second run there. Several of the women, one more spot here. Min Jung Kim, she gets it done at the same time as lane 4, Danae Fernandez Miglioria from Argentina at South American representation. See if we can head out to the bridge with some of those women. 3 women in this group here. See if they can lead us to those men at the front of the pack.
Ahí viene el ritmo, Córdoba, ahí viene el ritmo, poquito a poco vamos subiendo, que se note. CrossFit Qualifying event, Wodland Fitness.
If you got a keen eye, you'll see some top competitors here on the right side. There's Yona Koski. They've been sort of filtering in. Yona with a little smile on his face, but he's here for business this week. He's got a big competition season ahead of him, and if he can achieve his goal this weekend, it will make the path easier for him, but he's not the only one who's getting that situation. It's a very new season for all the athletes to try to navigate and figure out, and taking care of business early will matter. Sam Zerlich, Chris Chambers here at the top, putting a little gap between them and Frederick Lindstrom. And let's go see how this shakes out on the sandbag. Both men have been moving it extremely well. They're only a couple lanes apart from each other. Sam Zerlich's an athlete who has had most of his high-level competition at the previously Turun 2005 and now Turku 2005 up in Finland. And we'll see him there, I believe, again in June. Zerlich gets hands on it. Chambers angling himself and a fast cycle right there. Really flirting with the depth a little bit, but no, it's the extension at the top that the head judge is asking for. Hand up for Zerlich, no hand up for Chambers, but they should be within a rep or 2 of each other. Zerlich and Chambers drop at the same time, 800-meter run for the heat win here. The race is on. Wow, Lindstrom also making light work of this 200-pound sandbag. Gosh, these guys are so So impressive. And this is only heat 2 of 6. Lindstrom out. Here's Anais, who has put up a ton of distance relative to the women's field. Many of the men are coming in here. Alexander Pushkin, Jan, Michel, Ale de la Guardia,
Too easy.
and now Pierre. 5 men all within a rep or 2 of each other in this middle pack. Anais Lankry, 2 reps to go. And she'll head back out on that run. And Anais sending a big time message to the women in the next 4 heat. This time is going to be impressive. It's about 8 minutes on the clock when she finished that run, or when she headed out on this last run. Pushkin's going to be the first done amongst these men, but you see he's in pain. Anais looks much more relaxed. Here goes Michel, nice pacing. He seems to have picked up a couple guys each time. Jan, Pierre, Ale, and Aaron. And my goodness, when you see 5 men next to you going out on a final 800-meter run, you gotta want it. Some of the women coming back in there. We'll be looking for Sam and Chris. Here comes Kim. May have been Alexander there, forgive me. So the second pack of men is heading out there. Anais is all on her own. And it is still just a matter of not even a meter between Sam and Chris. This is gonna be wild. Sam has to go 2 mats further, so Chris Chambers, with a finishing kick here, is gonna put himself in position to potentially take the heat. Sam's gotta dig in, and Chris is opening up the gap here.
So far. 10:24 for the men. He's been a change of leader coming in with power and speed.
10:24 was the time to beat from Diego Calderon, and that's gonna fall. Chris Chambers, 9:47. Sam Thurlick, great fight, 9:53. Huge gap between those two and the rest of the field. Here in heat number 2. Wow. Chiara Sudati coming back in. Frederick Lindstrom's getting ready to finish. He's 3rd in the heat. He's got to get down and around. Nobody in sight. 10:24 is about to pass, so Calderon will have the 3rd best time after 2 heats. Lindstrom's got to get almost all the way back to us. Lane number 4 there. Frederick Lindstrom, 10:32 unofficial. And we'll be looking to see which of those men got the job done on that final run, and where is Anais Lankry. And it's Jan Guznak out of Poland, strongest on the final run of that group of 5 or 6 men. Pierre right behind him, and then Michel. So it's Poland, France, and Belgium. The next 3 coming across the line. Ale de la Guardia and Aaron Madrid are in a foot race, so we'll hold here and try to get the finishers. Jan, 11:06 unofficial. Pierre, 11:10. Anais is coming in. Anais and Michel both cross at 11:17. Anais will take it for the women's side. Aaron Madrid about a second ahead of Ale de la Guardia. Alexander Plushkin out of Russia. Looks like he's going to be the next one coming in with the hat on here. 11:32 or 3 for Alexander Plushkin. And Anais Lankry.
Absolutely destroying El Puente de Como.
Incredible. Huge message sent to the women in the next 4 heats. Second woman in the heat coming in here, Lisa Laiko out of Finland. Getting a ton of competition experience this year, and she's got some company right behind her, so I stay here and try to get them both in. Lisa Laiko, 12:01. Marina, about 12:06. Sian Dunphy here in the maroon. He's going to be on the farthest mat. Pretty good performance there. I talked to him yesterday. One of those guys who's in his biggest competition ever. Prefers the high-level gymnastics. 12:20 unofficial. He knows there's a lot of strength being tested this weekend, but he said he's up for the challenge. Just grateful for the chance to compete against, well, you'll see the full roster here as we unfold heats 3, 4, 5, and 6 throughout the morning. But let's see. We got some athletes finishing up. I may try to get an opportunity to talk to an athlete for the first time today. See if we can talk to Anais a little bit. One or two questions? Anais, that was super impressive. Are you happy with your performance?
Yeah, I'm happy. I practice it a lot, I think twice a week.
And here you can see just about close
I'm a strong squatter and I'm not bad at running. I was a runner before, but like we said, if we don't practice, of course, we're not good anymore. But I just think, like, running for me is just like, oh, but you want it. It's nothing muscular, nothing skill. So.
How about this location for an event?
About what?
The location to do
I like it. It's really nice, yeah. It changed from like being an arena. Yeah, it's a long travel, but it's fine. Next workout is at 6, so we have time to recover.
Take a nap, maybe.
Yeah, I think yes.
Great job, great start to the weekend.
Thank you.
Anais Lanker, you take it on the women's side in heat number 2, and you got an athlete that I have not seen, I don't think, compete in competition previously, who ended up winning this on the men's side for this heat. See if we can get a word from Chris. Chris.
What's up?
Hey, I'm Brian.
Hey, Brian.
Can I ask you a question or two?
Sure.
You can just hold this like just under your chin.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've seen you in competition before. Have you done any high-level competitions like this previously?
No, this is my first one. This is the first one. Yeah.
And how'd you get into this sport?
I guess like 5 years ago, I was watching Fraser, Blitz Froning, was watching them train, and I was finishing up college football. And I was like, you know what? I see those guys, and I'm like, I know I can be on that level one day. And ever since then, I just started training. This was 3 years ago. Got into a CrossFit gym last year for the first time, and I won Murph at the spot. And I was like, let's try this. So I'm all in now.
Dang, that's
so
awesome.
I want to be great, yeah.
Where are you at? You're from the U.S.?
Well, I live in Mallorca with my family.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Have you been over at C23 at all?
We are waiting for the final.
I was actually there last week for the first time, just to buy some Fit Aid. And I was like, I think I'm gonna drop in here sometimes because you guys got some really good athletes.
Yeah, well, it looks like you might be as well. That was super impressive, and I'm looking forward to seeing what else you got.
Yeah.
Great to meet you, Chris. All right, chance to talk to the winners there. Great stuff, Sam.
He was smaller.
Yeah.
He faced me behind me.
Yeah, but still a great start. Sam said he was smarter than me on that one, a little bit better pacing.
Allá no te saludé, tío, me estaba hablando.
¿Con quién?
Cuando me saludaste de arriba, que te dije sí, que iba a subir y ya te fuiste ya.
Yo.
Sí, o sea, me saludaste y yo estaba abajo.
Yeah. No, pero buena verte otra vez. Bien hecho aquí.
Y finaliza. Familia, un fuertísimo aplauso. A big round of applause.
We'll be back in a few minutes with heat number 3, test number 1.
Your two. 2 minutes athletes. Introducing our women's heat number 3 in lane number 1, Julia Blasowska. Lane number 2, we have Yudro Kubak. Lane number 3, Sarah Masoni. Number 4.
Lane 1 here, we got Pedro Munoz out of Spain. Lane 2, Inki Jonsen out of Iceland. This guy can run. You're going to see that in a second. Lane number 3, Ale Osania, Spain. Lane 4, Rafa Rogu, Spain. Lane 5, Rob Skilaki, the United Kingdom. Lane number 6, Len Postel, representing Germany. Dan Tai here, out of the UK in 7. Rui Figueiredo, Portugal, here in lane number 8. Lane 9, we got Felix Obron.
Number 4, Rafa
Spain. Carl Feldmer here in lane number 10. Lane 11, Eir Bjorn Gunsteinsen, also out of Iceland. Ooh, Dan and Sapphire in the same heat here. Sapphire retired, lane 11. UK, so out of Switzerland, Deborah Pignone. On the women's side of things, empty in 9, lane number 8, Martina Borini out of Italy. No one in 7. Lane number 6, Vanessa Wagner, Austria. Lane 5, Jen Weir. Hey Jen, good to see you. Right next to her, Justin Kacheeva, both from the UK. Lane number 3 is empty. Lane 2, we got Gucci Valdemarzar. But that's not your shirt, is it? Shout out BKG. And Julia Blazowska out of Poland rounding out the field for the women. See the workout there? It's test number 1, La Puente. 3 rounds, 20-15-10 on the squats, 800-meter running on the Puente de Cordova here.
10 seconds.
Heat 3 of 6.
Stand by.
Test 1 of 7 on the weekend. And they're off. Huge competition here at Wodland Fest. Not sure what the athletes didn't show up, but it seems like there's about 60 athletes on both divisions, representing nations from all around the world. We've got South Korea, Morocco, Argentina, United States, Canada, some of the farthest travelers to get here, and nearly every country that you can think of inside of Europe, all representing wonderful communities, gyms, training programs. And here we go, and watch Inky on this run in the orange and yellow shoes. I can almost guarantee he'll be back first. 5 men are out the door. Gucci and Julia are gone. Jen Weir and, can't tell who else that is, also out early. Sapphire Gadar looks to be the 3rd girl there, followed by Julia, Gucci, Vanessa, and the last 2 women coming here in a very fast opening set of 20 for this entire heat.
Pues finalizando esa
Last one out onto the run. And we'll get some little 100-meter runs back and forth in with you guys. Luis, is it possible to get any ice?
What?
Is it possible to get a bag of ice? I'm afraid. I know, but I can't go. I'm afraid this is going to overheat if I don't ice it between heats. Sorry about that. Anyway, the athletes are just running. As I mentioned at the start, just me, so do the best that we can. Offsite events are super cool. Look at this backdrop here in the city of Cordova. A postcard that these athletes get to do this event in front of. And then of course the local people get to see them working out as well, but some challenges with doing offsite events when it comes to a live stream, but we're pretty used to it. But it's getting hotter and the machines are working hard for us. There comes Inky. So I was talking to him yesterday. There's a bunch of Icelandic athletes here, and maybe not the ones that you're used to seeing necessarily. Turi Helgadottir coming up later, Björg Spurgensdottir on the women's side. But Ingimar Jonsson was in Sand Clash and just completely demolished the run there. I think they said he's never really lost a running event. And so opening up about a 30-meter lead here. And just like when the days of Sarah Sigmundsdóttir, the Icelandic communities showing up with their flags. Dan Tai, known for his weightlifting, but out here second on the run. There's Len Postel and a bunch of the guys. Still waiting to see that first woman, and it looks like it is going to be Jen Muir in the purplish pink pants there. Jen Muir, probably a top 5 contender here this weekend. There's Sapphire Goddard looking nice and composed. Ayer also out of Iceland coming in. And here's a pack of women. Gucci, Julia wearing the Lazar Jukic shirt. And a pretty tight heat. I think by the time the girls get in here at the end, we may even see some coming out the other way. And see if we can get a little bit more separation here in round number 2. Now we'll follow the women in and, I don't know, maybe pick up with the men immediately coming back out. Let's see where they're at. Inky very close to us here.
Johnson, lane number 2, coming out of CrossFit.
There he goes.
Flying
350, and he's already done. As right next to him in lane 3, Ale Ocaña just getting in. Dan Tai out there in second.
And it is going to be a champion over here. Scottish.
There goes Len Postel. I'm not sure who that is in third.
Your top athlete,
Carl Feldmer. There goes Jen Muir. Rafa Roku. Sapphire Goddard's going to be coming down the pipe here, so she's still second on the women's side, and the glass is there with the wave. Here comes Gucci. Ayer. Julia, Vanessa.
Ahora sí que sí, se empieza a poner interesante en esta segunda serie de 15 repeticiones.
The right side.
Deborah
Pignone, I think, in the red. I think that's Deb Pignone coming up the left, and Justin Kacheva with 2 reps to go. She's on the right side. Lane 1, Pedro Muñoz done. Let's see if we can catch Inky coming back in as Pedro's heading out.
Who is just finishing out also on that set of 15, starting on her second 800 meter run.
Kacheva will be coming up behind us here in about 10 seconds. I'm trying to keep my eyes on the horizon to see how close Inky is to finishing up this second run. The shade is nice. Oh, wow. And completely unexpected here. It looks like it's actually Dan Tai that is taking over Inky. And the only thing I can think here is that something has gone wrong for Ingemar. He's too good of a runner to have given up this distance. It doesn't look like he's limping at all. I wonder if the black's blown up from the squats or what, but Dan Tai was about 30 meters or 40 meters behind him and now has a 10-meter lead. Dan Tai known for his weightlifting, not his running necessarily. Inky the other way around. So changing of the lead here, and I'm just trying to keep an eye on Inky there and see. We'll follow Dan in. Carl Felmer's passing him by. Yeah, something's definitely not right. Man, Jen Muir, big lead on the women's side. Here comes Len Postel. So a couple of the man passing by the leader here, and you have to think, man, something can't be right there.
And we can see Daniel Tai over there is just going to be your new leader. Lane number 7, Daniel Tai is going to be making his way on that second.
So Jen Muir, actually the first athlete in the heat, get her hands on the sandbag.
Repetitions.
And Dan Tai. Carl Feldmer now second. Len Postel now third. And Felix Sobron.
I can't find the bag. I ate the donut.
Chasing down the time.
Yeah, can you give it to Zach? Thank you.
Seconds.
Dan Tai out. There goes Carl. Len Postel's going to see if he can chase down the fellow German. Jen Muir leading the way for the women. Sorry, I could have a better camera angle here. And Ingi is definitely hurt, man. Hate to see that. Felix Sopron is out. Battle for second in the women's field is going to be intense. Gucci finishes up. She drops at the same time as Martina Borini. So Borini and Goddard will come around first, but they'll have more distance to travel at the end. Julia Blazowska last run squat here before she heads out. There's Martini, there's Sapphire, here comes Gucci.
Minutes 46 second. The female time to beat 11 minutes 16.
Minute 25 to the time to beat.
Your first athlete counts.
Follow these guys out here. I will let Julia come, we'll go with her. Pedro, Justine. Here comes Julia on her last run. Julia competes all over Europe. Had many opportunities to watch her compete. So final run here for athletes in Heat 3. Heat 3 out of 6. And Inki Jonsson out of Iceland, who's the favorite in this heat on this event. Looked like he injured himself in the second run. And now it looks like Carl Feldmer down there may have overtaken Dan Ty. A couple of the other men heading out there on their last run. So most of the athletes in the heat are on the final run. Some of them are heading out towards the turnaround point, others on the way back in. And it's going to be Carl, Dan, and then I think Jen Weir. And beautiful execution here. And kind of picking off athletes in every round. And it looks like it's going to be a heat win. The question is it going to be the top time so far?
Alinea un fuertísimo aplauso a vuestro líder, sí señor.
10:14 on the clock. It's going to be close. Oh no, the men's time's already passed by. 10:21. Van Ty's coming up next. Go wide here. Jen Weir's about to finish. Jen Weir, 10:28. Ty gets in 10:31. Ingi, oh my gosh, dude, he's gutting this out. Still will get third in the heat at 10:39. Lane number 6 on the women's side. Maddie Edwards, I think I was calling the wrong lane there. Got in. Len Postel's in. Felix Sobron got across. Here comes Sapphire Goddard. Striding it out. Sapphire will get in.
As you can see,
11:08. A couple of the men making the turn. Gucci gets in.
Lane number 8 is going to be
Lane number 8, Rui Figueiredo, right ahead of Rod Skilaki.
to make their way through.
And I think Martini Borini also got in at that time. Here comes Julia. 11:30, Julia Blazowska out of Poland. And I'm going to go and we're going to go charge things up. We'll be back for heat number 4. Definitely don't want you guys to miss the last 3 heats. So, two athletes finishing out. 3 heats down, 3 heats to go here at La Puente. Test number 1.
athletes 2 minutes ago coming onto the competition floor. On your elite female heat, number 4, we have Margot Macenta. Lane number 2, Paul Thorman. Lane number 3, Sarah Lithia. Lane number 4.
Our lane 1's going to be empty. Oh, Travis didn't show up there. Alvaro Gomez out of Spain here with the hat on.
Number 7,
Wojcik
Jacobson.
from Poland.
Lane number 8,
Ludwig Hansen out of Finland. Jakub Chislik representing Poland. Lane 6 will be empty. Victor Cardenas out of Spain. Haraldur Holgersson down from Iceland, returning to competition for the first time since Lowlands Throwdown 2022. Lucas Grulev making a return to competition after 2 years. Great to have you back out here, Lucas.
Number 4.
Diego Pereira out of Portugal. Lucas from Denmark, by the way. Anshan Grim out of South Korea. Norbert Gerda out of Poland. On the women's side here, lane number 12, we got Vergos Jorgensdottir. Watch out for her this weekend. Maria Rongstad out of Norway. This is a stacked heat of women, by the way. We got 2 more to go. Martina Krisiak in 10. Sina Sampith out of Norway, but living in Mallorca in 9. Lane 8, Vesle Moe Kolstad, one of several athletes from the Krieger training program here. Julia Jakobsen out of Germany. Other side of the floor here, lane 6, Amanda Fusama. Andra Moistis has several good running workouts under her belt in competition history. Lane number 4, Sung Young Choi, one of Asia's finest women in the history of the sport. Second highest finish ever for an athlete out of Asia at the cross games. Sarah Alicia Fernanda Costas out of Spain. Thurman Mo, another one of the Krieger athletes. And Margot Masset out of France. We've already seen 2 of her training partners from the fit process on the men's side. And she'll be holding it down for the women.
Stand
in the fit process from France. 3 rounds of sandbag squats and running across La Puente de Cordoba. That's 1 of 7.
They are going to be starting off with 20 reps of the sandbag squats.
And for the most part, the men have been faster on the squats despite the 50 extra pounds. They can hold the bags any way they want. Talking to some of the athletes, and it is such an advantage for some of the stronger squatters to be able to put it in that front rack, but they are paying the price with some rips on their squats. Ludwig Hansen, watch out for Ludwig Hansen. This guy is going to have a nice workout here. Several of the other men out on the run. And Veslemoy Kolstad, first woman out. Margot Masset was in the lane closest to us, so she's actually in the lead for them. Vergos Jorgensdottir, Vortherman Mo, Julia Jakobsen, Sina Samseth, Andra Moistis, see if she can make up some room on the run, and the rest of the women. All of them out, except for Sung Young Choi, who's got 1 more squat to go. And she'll head out on the final run. So wait for Sung Young Choi and follow her out onto the bridge and bring the leaders in. Pretty good representation of athletes from South Korea here. An Chang Grim on the men's side and Sung Young Choi on the women's side, both in this heat. We already saw 2 other athletes, 1 male and 1 female from South Korea in the earlier heats as well. I love to see some of them making their way over to Europe, testing themselves, kind of see where they stack up. So here we are on the Puente de Cordoba. And the phone is not overheating anymore. Thankful to Luis Enrique for some ice there to help us out in the time between the heats. Bells are ringing in the background. It's noon here. The passerby's telling me I should be running with him. We'll hang out here and wait. Ludwig looks like he's in the lead. Ludwig Hansen, another one of the Finnish athletes here. There are several, as we talked about. And he also won the qualifier for Turku Tuomiopäivä, where he won that event, I think, 2 years ago. Podiumed again last year. Saw Sam Zerlik and Joni Mata, also from Finland on the men's side. Got about a 20-meter lead, I would say, here. Looking nice and smooth. Ludwig Hansen, plenty of experience all around Europe, semifinals, a couple times over. Alexander Blosik, right behind him here, and Haraldur Holgersson. So those will be the top 3. Let's go in with the guys, the top 3 men here, and pick them up in that middle set of squats. Blosik is a kind of a body weight specialist. He can win events like that, but man, he's been getting stronger. Every competition I go to that he's at, He's improving his strength and kind of pushing up the leaderboards in those tier 2, 3 competitions throughout Europe.
15 repetitions.
So we got Hansen,
So it is going to
Blosik, Holgersen. Top women are going to be coming in on the right. There's Ward Thurman Lowe and Andra Moistis, who is about 8th out on the run, 2nd back in. Margot Massette is going to be 3rd for the women. So Ward Thurman Lowe, she's qualified for the WFP Stop 1 event in the elite division, chasing down potentially a pro card this year as well. And Ludwig Hansen out again. 3:43, very similar to earlier split times we've seen on the men's side of things. Holgersen, Geraldo Holgersen, caught my attention at the 2019 Strength and Depth competition. Maybe it was 2020, it's like a 5th or 6th place finish there. He has competed at Lowlands Throwdown in 2022 and has not competed since, dealing with some injuries. Anshan Grim, Ward Thurman Mo leading for the women. Blosik falling a little bit behind on the squats. Tight for the men. There goes Lucas Grulev. Yesterday he made a post, Lucas Grulev did. We're going to go out with Jakobsen comes by. Maybe we'll let some of these women finish up here. They got a couple of minutes of running. Lucas Grulev yesterday made a post that 2 years ago to the day he had an operation and that he's been working to get back onto a competition floor like this for the past 2 seasons. So I had a brief opportunity to talk to him, and he's just really grateful to be here. He said no matter how it goes, he's just happy to be out competing again. Several of the women heading out, Bergos there, Sinesamte, and we'll head out with this group. Maybe second of 3 runs here for some of the women in heat 4 of 6. Simon Asmund there, Krieger training. Yeah, tons of athletes. That was Sina Samseth. He lives in Mallorca, but part of the... Morning, Simon. A couple other women coming up. There goes Sung Young Choi. Amanda Fusama is going to be right behind her, heading out across the bridge and back. And Ludwig Hansen is opening up some space here against the field in heat number 4. Ludwig's got so much experience training with some of the top athletes in Europe. Of course, Joona Hoski and Henrik Heppelainen, but he's been at those Strength 101 training camps with several of the top guys. And he's going to be looking to push into that top heat for tomorrow. You can guarantee that that's on his mind. Geraldo Holgersen, as I mentioned, first time competing in about 3 years. He said mostly health is going to keep him out. Man, he looks incredibly fit, though. And Ward Thurman Mo, dropping her chalk, but leading the way for the women there by a healthy margin. Well, the guys coming in, and Andra Moistis will be second for the ladies. We're going to head in with Andra. Lucas Grulev right behind her. Andra Moistis with the grit team, Spanish-based. Chewy there on the sideline cheering her on. One of the coaches with them. And we'll see Ludwig Hansen there, 1 squat to go. And at the 6:55 mark, Hansen onto his last run. And Hansen is now chasing the next 2 heats. He's going to be running away with this. Blosik's going to be picking up 1 rep to go for Geraldo Holgersen. Margot Massette is back. 3rd in the heat still. Julia Jacobsen not far behind her. There goes Holgersen. There goes Vore. Absolutely cruising.
Trying to chase down.
And I believe that's Diego Pereira who's out for the man. There goes Andra Moistis. Here comes Lucas Grulev and Victor Cardenas. And now Blosik. So a battle there, and Anshan Grim's going to be entering that. See if Margot can draft off some of the guys there. She's 3rd in the heat. Julia Jakobsen right behind her.
Now we can see Costa joining in over there.
Norbert Jedra in the red shirt heading out on his final run. And we'll go with Alvaro Gomez. known as a ninja in Spain.
Final.
We've seen him compete several times in competitions we've covered. There goes Jorgen's daughter. 10 squats to go for her and one final run. Some of the women coming back in there. I believe that was Fusama. But we'll be looking for Ludwig Hansen. Sub 10 minutes is the fastest times we've seen on the men's side. I believe there were 2 of those. Sara Alicia Fernandez coming back in there. 10 squats in a run left for her. But Ludwig Hansen and Vor Thurman Moe are going to be challenging the top times overall here in heat number 4 with still 2 heats, 2 all-star heats coming up. And it was getting a little hotter, but now the breeze is picking up. I thought it may be a disadvantage to be in the later heats, but the wind coming in will certainly help cool the athletes down. Veslemoy Kolstad there. Another one of the athletes who has primarily team experience with Krieger or the Oslo teams, but it's trying her hand at individual. A lot of them have been, and my goodness. So Ludwig's out front here, but the next athlete up is Vor Thurman Moe. And I do think this is going to be the fastest female time we've seen yet. We'll go back in with Ludwig. He's going to have to go around, and Vor will be right behind. We're going to try to, I think we can wait for Vor and catch both their finishes because Ludwig's going to have to make the turn. Haralder's right behind that. So Vor Thurman Moe, seeing if she can set the top time for the women here through 4 heats, 2 to go, and get off to a great start here at Wodland Fest.
When you get the best time, you will find out. Ladies and gentlemen, eyes on your man.
No, Joe. Vor. 9:46 for Vor Thurman Moe. Maybe the fastest. Ludwig Hansen, 9:50. So sub 10 we said would be great. Here comes Haraldur Holgersen. He's going to be right about 10 minutes. 10:01 unofficial. Andra Moistis, 10:02. Diego Herrera ducking in at about 10:09. Here comes Lucas Grulov and several men coming in. Grulov in 10:20 something. Norberg gets in next. And it's a mad dash. Margot Masset gets in. Anshan Grim right ahead of Victor Cardenas by about a second, maybe less. Julia Jakobsen gets in for Denmark. Down there in lane 11. Marie Rodenstad out of Norway got in. I just missed her, so she was ahead of Masset. Alexander Bloshik is in. Gomez is rounding the corner. And several finishers. Jakob Chislik in the white there. Excuse me, Marie Ronstad was not done. She still has another round to go, so I was actually correct about that one. Veslemoy Kolstad coming in on the right. Jakub gets in, and Veslemoy gets in about 11:24.
Your daily number 1.
Sung Young Choi coming in. See if she can get ahead of that one. Sung Young Choi gets in about a half second ahead of Martina Krysiak. So Choi should have been ahead of Krysiak there, but it's going to be very tight. Sina Samseth coming around the bend. So as expected, the heat's getting faster and faster. These are still good times. You're just going against better and better athletes. So Sina Samseth, 12 minutes has just passed, probably at 12:02 or 3 unofficial for her. Here comes Bergos Bjorgensdottir, and wait for the barbells to come out. Bergos Bjorgensdottir is going to have some top finishes this week. Rogstad is out. Bjorgensdottir, 12:14 unofficial. Amanda Fusama here.
And here we can see Amanda Fusama
representing Brazil, and she'll get in about 12:24 or so. All right, 4 heats down, 2 to go from Cordoba. La Puente, test 1 of 7, day 1 of 3. C'est la vie.
2 minutes, athletes. Introducing our elite female athletes. Lane number 1, Maria Granito. Number 2,
Heat 5 of 6, test 1 for the elite men and women.
Number 4, Connie Eastby.
Let's give you an intro to all the athletes and countries represented here. Start with the men. Lane number 2, Antonios Makaronis out of Greece.
Lane number 9,
Carlos Ferreira Coloma out of Spain. Sven Jeans representing Belgium. Yuri Marchenko out of Italy. Fabian Hermans next to him here in the black hat out of the Netherlands. Marco Schwendman out of Switzerland. Anastas Artemis out of Greece. Nicholas Veron representing Ecuador. Big Bronislaw Linkovic out of Poland. Let's take a look at the women in this heat. Madeline Persson, red hair, red top here out of Sweden.
1 minute.
Line number 10 on the women's side, we got Stina Svanzater. Connie Easby being lane number 8. She's Connie's, of course, from the United Kingdom. Andrea Solberg will be here. Okay, that was Leah Storn, and I was going the wrong way. Out of Norway. Andrea Solberg. Lane number 6, Jasmine Gilardi out of Italy. Turi Helgadottir, Iceland. There's Connie Easby from the UK. Erika Eklund, Sweden. Diana Pinchuk, Ukraine. And Maria Nizo out of, Switzerland, but lives here in Spain.
Stand by.
And she is very young and very talented. And I'm really excited if you haven't got a chance to see her compete, to see her this weekend. She has done some high competitions. Bascha Paqueta, she got on the podium there up in Bilbao last fall. But she's seen her at the Teenage CrossFit Games as well. 20 reps on the sandbag squats, 200 for the men, 150 pounds for the women before they'll head out. And Carlos Ferreira in the white shirt there, going to be amongst the leaders. Hands up all the way up and down the line on the men's side. And it is going to be Carlos Ferreira in a close lane there, followed by Fabian Hermans. There goes Bedon, there goes Bronislaw. Marco is out there in the red, Sven Jeans.
And it is going to be
Antonio, Yuri, Anastas, Madeline Persson, Andrea Solberg. And here comes the rest of the women. Let them sort themselves out on the run. Eklund, Granizo, Pinchuk, Helgadottir, and Easby, and the entire Heat 5 making short work of the sandbag squats in round 1, and they get the first of 3 ventures out and back on the Puente de Cordova. And if you're just joining us, you're going to get to see just how beautiful this backdrop is. Of course, when they're in the midst of the race, that's not necessarily what they're thinking about, but we can enjoy it. Fastest times so far have been about 9:45 in both divisions. Woo. Vortherman Mo taking it to the men in heat number 4. Ludwig Hansen was not far behind, but I think he's got second or third fastest time so far. Some fast times in the early heats as well. All of the athletes will be competing this evening back in Málaga. It's about an hour and 45-minute drive south from here in Cordoba. The top men have rounded the corner and are heading back towards us. Can't quite tell yet who's in. Oh, it looks like it is Carlos Ferreira still leading. Fabian Hermans up towards the front potentially. Fabian looks like he's in third. It looks like it's Ferreira, Nicholas Bedon, Fabi Hermans, and Sven Jeans will be the top 4 men. And then a big gap after that. So we'll probably wait for Sven, head in with him. And Carlos Ferreira, I've seen this guy win events at competitions up and down Spain against the best from Spain and some international athletes as well. He does have a couple holes in his game, but his engine is second to none. And the way he was squatting on this, I really think that Carlos Ferreira is kind of a sneaky guy relative to the caliber of athletes that we see in this field. So 4 men ahead of me here. The pack is behind. 15 squats in this middle round. Sven Jeans there, fourth amongst the men, leading the way here in heat 5 of 6.
In second position, you can see it, Nico Bedon. But it is going to be
Bedon who gets the sandbag up ahead of Carlos. Bedon down there towards the end of the lane. But you see they're both squatting, and Carlos probably a faster cycle rate. Fabian Hermans wastes no time. Sven Jeans getting up. Here comes Anestis, Yuri Marenchenko, and it's going to be Madeline Persson on the right in the red. Leading the women, Andrea Solberg, Connie Easby, Diana Pinchuk, Leah Storm, Maria Granizo, Carlos Ferreira out. Marenchenko to the sandbag. Anestis is putting it up on his back, which very few of the athletes have done so far.
Second sets.
So Sven will head out, same order in and out on the men's side, and the women are all here squatting in the round of 15. Maybe they might not be missing a single one. Gosh, both of these last two heats have already been full of athletes who are the best in their countries, or have been to the CrossFit Games, or have competed at high-level competitions individually on teams. So we still have another heat to go. So it's Persson Solberg, who's one of the hottest athletes in the world right now. Here comes Marco Schrenman amongst the women, Yuri as well. Leah Shore and Connie Easby. There goes Anestis. Here's Diana Pinchuk. We saw her in Dubai representing Ukraine. There was Erica Eklund. There's Maria Granizo. Big Braun. And we'll head out with a couple of the women here. Actually, we'll wait. Antonius Macarones and Terry Helgedot are the last two athletes here. We'll go with Terry.
Also going out onto the second run.
Amongst the legends from Icelandic women. And we have the youngster Bergus Björgens that are now in the previous heat, as well as Gucci. There's some new names. So second round on the bridge. And let's see, as most of them are heading out that way, if we can pick up Carlos and Nico Bedon. Nicolas Bedon, I spoke to him yesterday at the check-in. His only high-level competition experience was like a 22nd place finish at Copa Sur and a 30th place finish at Wadapalooza in January. But he started working with Facundo, a Mayhem athlete, after that Copa Sur experience. And he said it was absolutely has been game-changing for him. And Facundo's pretty well known at this point for... Well, the barriers are going down. I apologize if that was loud. For finding the small areas for improvement in already good athletes that are looking to become great. And Bedon does take over the lead here from Ferreira. Fabi Ederman's in the all-black, well, in the hat. Sven Jeans in the all-black behind him. And again, these four men way ahead of the rest of the field. So we'll go in with Sven again. Madeline Persson is leading for the women back there. It looks like Andrea Solberg is still behind her. So it's four men clear of the field in heat 5 here. I'm probably too far zoomed in.
So he's now going to be going for 10 repetitions. Bedon's going to have a slight advantage.
Bedon losing his sandbag a little bit there. But he does get it up first. Fabi Hermans flips it over. He and Carlos get it up at the same time. Sven Jeans will be about 5 reps behind. Hands up for all three men. No rep for Bedon. Now the head judge is coming over. Fabi Hermans drops. Carlos Pereira drops. So Bedon gives away all that ground he made up on the run. So all three men who were behind him. And Leah Storen is going to be ahead of Persson here starting the final 10. Now Easby, and then Solberg. So Leah Storen making a big move in the middle run. And that's this Artemis just kind of sitting all on his own here in 5th in the heat. Erica Ekelund in the green top, black pants here from Sweden. Yuri Marenchenko rounding the corner on the far side. Here comes Granizo and Pinchuk.
It's going to be Storen over there, lane number 8 as she comes out first.
Jasmine Giralde back in. There goes Storen. Storen leading Persson there. Marco is back in. He's doing some squats. Solberg setting out. Big Braun's coming in.
Going to come down to that final sprints.
Branislav Lenkovic has made a change over to the training culture, and they have made a deal that she is not going to finish last in running events. And So far, it looks like that's the case, as he's holding his own quite well here for a man that we know has usually given away a lot of points. Yuri Marchenko glancing at Anestis there. They're both heading out. Anestis looking a little bit more fresh. Granizo and Pinchuk have been step for step this whole way. There's Marco. And there goes Braun, looking very good starting the last one. Jasmine Gilardi as well. And we'll head out with her and see if we can pick up the leaders and see if Nicolas Bedon can make up that ground that he gave away on the squats to not 1 or 2, but to 3 men. So we should be looking for Ferreira, maybe Fabian Hermans, a la Carl Thelmer from a previous heat, just kind of lurking behind and waiting till that last round to make the move. And Sven Jeans has been behind him, but it may be also looking to do the same thing. So big group of athletes going out, and it is in fact the case. Fabian Hermans has taken over the lead here. I think that's Ferreira right behind him, and then Sven, and Bedon is drifting back to 4th. So Fabian Hermans and Carlos Ferreira are in the hurt locker here. Fabian has the closer mat. And here they go. Sven Jeans will be right behind, but this is the race for the win in the heat. Tons of athletes, obviously, so other times absolutely factoring in.
Just about to be making his way through.
9:37 on the clock. 9:45, we believe the time to beat. Sub 10 is phenomenal. And Fabian Hermans will win the heat. 9:44 unofficial. Maybe the new top time. Carlos Ferreira, 9:49. Sven Jeans is going to be under 10 minutes. He'll get on the mat at 9:58. Bedon coming in.
He's going to be closing in out.
Nicolas Bedon runs the corner and he'll hit the mat. 10:08 unofficial. So 4 men in. And here comes the top women. Madeline Persson and Leah Shorin.
Your top elite female athletes, Madeline Persson.
Persson gets in 10:21 unofficial. Leah Shorin.
And here we can
Round
see
judge 10:26 unofficial. All right. Fabian Hermans may now have the top time. Thurman Moe will carry the top time in for the women, and those 2 times will be within a second of each other. Andrea Solberg comfortably 3rd in the heat, and she knows that she's battling a lot more than just these women. 10:47. Erica Eklund has made a move here. Here comes Connie Easby. Eklund's pretty close to us. Eklund 10:54. And Nestis gonna have to pass Connie here. Connie 10:58, and Nestis has to get around the corner. Branislav Olenkovic with a very strong final run. Love to see that from Bron. 11:06, and Nestis is in. Maria Granizo gets in 11:09. Branislav Olenkovic 11:11, and with some big-time weightlifting implements coming, that's a great start for Bron. Pinchuk's gonna get in 11:17. Yuri Marchenko rounding the corner. Jasmine Gilardi's gonna get in. Right ahead of him, 2 Italians, 11:22, 11:23. Here comes Marco and Antonius. Marco's got a shorter distance to go, but his man is further away from us.
Absolutely incredible.
Marco Schwendman in the red will get in. 11:38 unofficial. Antonius has to come all the way down towards us, and he gets in there.
Closing it out.
11:44, about another female finisher. I couldn't quite see. Evan Steenham getting in there. Now let's talk to a couple of these athletes. Bobby, you got your breath back yet? 1 minute? I'll give you a fist bump. You can hold that by your chin. Bobby, that was a very fast heat, but you weren't leading till the end. Talk us through it.
I practiced this before at home. 1 time. Went really well. Not going too hard on the first 2 rounds. So I had to let 2 guys go. And then on the last sandbag squats, I believe, and the last run, they fell back a little. And I managed to hold on. After with 200 meters to go, I had no clue who was behind me. If they were at the finish line further before me. So I just had to tank on that one. Went really hard, and I managed to take it. You can't win.
Well, great start to the weekend. Like I said, it's one of the top 2 times so far. One heat to go, but awesome stuff, man. Thank you, Fabian. Hi, Madeline. Can you do one question or two? Okay, you can hold this by your chin. Hi, Madeline. Great to see you. This is heat 5 of 6. It's a very stacked field of women here. But this heat alone could be a final heat in many competitions. You went out to a pretty good start and held on to it. Was that kind of the plan on this one?
Yeah, I know that I'm a good runner, but I haven't been running a lot since my knee surgery last year. But I know that I have it, and I try to hold the good pace.
Yeah.
So I took the bath on anesthesia. I know I can hold these guys pretty good. And then I just try to squat the shit out of the mat because I hate it. And so I can get out to run again. And then
Yes.
And there it is. Un fuerte aplauso, familia. Big round of applause for our athletes of heat number 5.
To the medal.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. A great start to the weekend, Madeline. Thanks for taking a minute for us. Okay, we'll see you back in Malaga. A chance to talk to the heat winners there in heat number 5. We got heat number 6, the final heat here, and test number 1 coming up in a few minutes. Stick with us. You're not going to want to miss this one. We got some big dogs on the men's and women's side coming out with the throwdown. Well, we've been building up to it, and the final heat of men and women are lined up and ready to take the floor. And my goodness, if we haven't already seen some of the best athletes in these last couple of heats. We got the big dogs coming out to play here. Aniola Kai out in the front there in the black. Erjan Docac out of Albania right behind him. Callum Clements, another up-and-comer out of Spain in the orange headband. Jonakoski rocking the Red Bull and the white. Moritz Fiebig, Germany's finest. What's up, brother? Tiago Luches out of Portugal. Super excited to see him compete again. Victor Lundal. Is he the best guy in Sweden? Just might be. But always fun to watch him compete. Colin Bossard out of Switzerland. And Roman Krenikov over from Mayhem, representing Tyr. Roman's been great here, talking to the fans, but he's here for business. He's here to compete. He's been here for most of the week. On the women's side, wow, it's just as impressive. We got Elisa Fuliano out in the front there, representing Italy. Emily Lundberg out of Sweden with the black hat on there. Linda Kieschman from the Netherlands in the all green. Behind her, Lucy Campbell in the all blue out of the UK. Super awesome to have her back in competition right now.
Your heat number 6 getting ready to rumble and come down.
And her Maribel Gallardo used to compete on the team. She's been doing some individual rounds out of Spain, doing quite well. Silvia Garcia with the purple hair. Always fun to watch a competition. Hits up most of the competitions throughout Spain. Taylor Howe out of the UK and the peach top there with the hat on. And Vilde Virkeli out of Norway will round out the heat. We'll make our way down to the other side. And for the final time this morning, the athletes here in Cordoba will be taking on La Puente. 20, 15, 10 of sandbag squats. 800-meter run between each heat. Out to nearly the end of the Puente de Cordoba, the bridge of Cordoba, and back. Up to 9:41 Joe Siastro told me was the fastest time on the judges sheet for Fabian Hermans. And I believe 9:44 for Born Thurman Mo from a couple heats ago is the time to beat on the women's side. Final chance to see if those times will go down.
In lane number 5, Linda Caseman. Number 6, Lucy Campbell. Lane number 7, Maribel Gallardo. Number 9, Silvia Garcia.
We thought it was going to be getting hotter as the day wore on, and these athletes may have a little bit of a disadvantage, but at this time, not only is there a little breeze, but the cloud is moving front of the sun, so it actually feels about as good as it felt all morning. Pretty optimal conditions for Cordoba, a city that is known for being very hot in the center of the lower part of it. It's in the center of the southern part of Spain, almost 2 hours north of Málaga on the coastline there.
Athletes, 1 minute.
We program an off-site event, always the risk of the weather, but today has been absolutely picture perfect, and we've seen some incredible performances from these athletes already. Several former CrossFit Games athletes, several former competitors at Dubai, at Rogue, Wadapalooza, teams and individual divisions, top competitions up and down Europe. And we've seen athletes from around the world in some of the other heats, but I believe everyone other than Roman. Roman did compete at the European semifinals back in the day, so technically, by the way the maps are drawn, all out of Europe in this heat. I would say two kind of unknowns. One on the women's side, one on the men's side. Erjan Docac from Albania and Vilde Virkeli. Not with quite the resume of the rest of these athletes, but got into this heat, and time to see what they got.
Stand by.
Watch out for Tiago Luches as the rounds wear on here. He's been getting better and better. He's been giving himself more and more opportunities against top-caliber athletes. He's got a pedigree of picking people off as rounds wear on. Aniola Kai is right up in front of us. I spoke to Aniola yesterday to check, and he's definitely here to win this thing this weekend. See if he sets the tone early. He's going to, because of the lane that he's drawn here, he's going to not really be able to see anyone until he makes the turn. Hands up for nearly everyone, but it's Victor Lundal, Moritz Fiebig, Jonakoski, Aniola Kai, Bossard, Luches, Krenikov, here comes Clements. And not too far behind, Dokaj, Lucy Campbell out front. And Lucy Campbell, I mean, the potential and ceiling for her this year is completely unknown. There's Berkeley, Howe, Giuliano, Lundberg, Sepias, Gallardo, and Linda Kishman. And all of the men and women will be out on the run. We'll follow Linda out there and give you guys a view of Cordova from La Puente for the final heat of the morning. We've had some pretty good times in all the heats. If you're just catching up with us, you can scroll back and watch those. Get to know some athletes from around Europe and around the world that you may not have seen in competition before out here doing their thing. For some of them, it's the biggest or highest level competition that they've ever been at. And for others, there's a lot more at stake this weekend, as it's going to dictate a lot of how the season unfolds for a few of them. There's that view we were talking about. Test number 2 will be taking place back in Malaga this evening. I think between 5 and 8 p.m. and Central European time here in Spain. Lundal, who was first off of the sandbags, but had a kind of a far lane from us, which means he's actually already run a little bit more than the guys ahead of him, is still leading. Victor Lundal absolutely ran away with the top division at the Oslo Throwdown last year. Has an incredible community of himself over there in Sweden at his gym. M23, I believe. Anjola Kai, Roman Krenikov, not the fastest on the squats, but got right up to the front on the run. No surprises there. Bossard. And then we see, Colin Bossard had that great performance on the opening event of semifinals last year, showing his class on the run. Lucis, Koski, and Fiebig, and we'll go with this top group of guys and then catch up with Lucy Campbell if she comes in. But all 7 of these guys, or 8, whatever it is, are on pace for a sub 10 minute. And that would put them in contention for a top 10 finish in the overall event. Sub 10 on the women's side, I think, was only done by Bora Thorman Moa so far.
And about
So,
to be very
Bossard, Lundal, Krenikov,
it is going to be, Bossard is going to be your first athlete down there.
all on the sandbag. Lucis, Akai,
Eyes on lane number 1.
Fiebig, and Koski.
Koski.
Lucy Campbell's going to be coming in on the right side with a good-sized lead over Sylvia Garcia. Here comes Callan Clemens with the orange headband.
She's going to be your first female athlete. Segunda posición, Sylvia Garcia.
Campbell gets it up.
Champions.
Sylvia Garcia, Sepios. At least Juliana and Taylor Howe coming in, but now it's Anjol, Roman, Victor, and Colin. Yona Kosi gets called back with one more rep. Remember that rep. It's going to be a tight competition. Moritz Fiebig, Tagaluchis, and now Koski. Sacrificing maybe 7 seconds, 10 seconds there. See if it costs them from the end of this workout or the end of this competition. Small margins for error on the men's and women's side in this one, as it's so densely packed with talented athletes. Lucy Campbell won the Marbella Championship and Tijuana-Palooza in the elite divisions in her first 2 competitions back since taking 16th as a rookie at the 2022 CrossFit Games. She got an invite into WFP. If she nabs the top spot here, this could just be an explosive season for Lucy Campbell. Sepia still in the 2nd spot for the women in the heat. And Elisa Giuliano. Taylor Howe and Emily Lundberg coming around the corner. Erjan, only man working back here. Getting the earful from the head judge as well. Let's go out with the girls and see if we can pick up on that men's race. It is going to be intense. I really gotta like the way that Roman is setting himself up there. He hasn't set the pace early, and we've seen him do this on running events before. They do have to keep in mind that there are some fast times from the previous heats. We believe 9:41 from Fabian Hermans, European semifinalist, is what they're all ultimately chasing down. But the fact that the pack is out so fast here, I think that it's not just going to be one, but a couple of these guys that end up besting that time. We're going to see Linda Kishman coming up here in the all green. Vilda Berkeley is going to be entering frame on the right in the pants. Strive for Progress shirt. Maria Gallardo and Erjan Dokaj. And it looks like it's Roman now who has taken the lead here on the 2nd run. Roman finished 3rd at the Mayhem Classic behind the phenomenally impressive Colton Mertens and Austin Hatfield. So he's made the trip out here to try to secure a top spot. He's leading here in the middle round of the first workout of day one. Colin and Agnol. Now let's go with these top three guys and see how this shakes out on the squats. We'll catch up with the rest of the guys, but these three have pulled ahead of the rest. And Colin Bosshard got off to such a good start at semifinals last year and basically just fell apart on the last day with the final 2 bars of the snatch ladder and the heavy dumbbell lunges. There are some heavy implements in this weekend with Heavy Isabel and the clean and jerk complex that will be big time tests for him, but on events where he can handle the weight, the guys amongst the elite in Europe for sure. He qualified 7th for WFP, so we'll see him in Indianapolis. Anjola Kai did the same. So it's Krennikov and Bosshard. Kai is behind on the squats. And here goes Roman. Roman means business. Bosshard's going to try to chase him down. One more rep for Kai as Lucy Campbell picks up the bag. So Anjol heads out in 3rd. He's chasing times from previous heats. And he's not going to probably catch those 2 guys, but he might be able to catch some other times. Lungdahl and Fiebig. Lungdahl starting this run faster. We'll see if he can fend off the veteran from Germany. Lucy strips the belt and she'll head out, and she at the 7:07 mark. She'll try to chase down the boys. There goes Jonikowski. Callum Clements getting to the bag. Thiago Lucis has to go and set it back down. A couple seconds there. Silvia Garcia getting to the sandbag. And Lisa Fuliano is going to be jogging into the frame. Lucis on his final run. Clements, 1 more squat to go. And Callum Clements going to try to track down Thiago Lucis here. Silvia Garcia. Oh, and Fuliano with a bit of a bobble there on the clean.
Who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be? ¿Quién será vencedor y vencedora?
Silvia Garcia will head out on the run at the 7:50 mark. 2 to go for Fuliano as Taylor Howe and Emily Lundberg have entering.
Making their way in.
Eastman as well. Those 3 have been sort of in a battle. And let's go with Silvia here. See if we can pick up the men and see if Bosshard was able to make up any ground on Roman. And if Anjola Kai decided to try to kick it into a top gear and put himself into that equation. Erzan coming back in for his set of 10 squats. Garcia second in the heat on the women's side. Lucy Campbell way out in front. We're going to have to see how her time stacks up with Vorthrum and Moe. And what is going on here? Oh, Colin Bosshard absolutely turns the burners on. Bosshard with a 15-meter lead ahead of Roman. And they are 70 to 100 meters ahead of the rest of the field. But the engine on this kid is unbelievable. And Colin Bosshard looks like he's about to take the heat. Roman set the pace in round 2. Colin hit the NOS in round number 3.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up. As he's making his way.
Check the clock and see.
Sprinting his
9:05 on the clock. Colin Bosshard is going to absolutely obliterate the time to beat 9:09 on official. Colin Bosshard, winner of event 1 here in Cordova at the Wodland Fest. Roman Krennikov will round the turn and by 20 plus seconds will take 2nd overall. And the Swede, it's Victor Lunddahl. He left Moritz in the dust. He passed by Spain's finest Anjola Kai. Victor Lunddahl now racing against Fabian Herman's time. It's going to be close. Lunddahl at 9:39 on the clock. Herman should get in at 9:41. Anjola Kai is laboring, trying to get to the finish line. He'll drive in at 9:46. He's going to be close with several unders. Moritz Fiebig, 9:51. Lucy Campbell, 9:53. Should be 2nd on the women's side behind Vorthrum and Moe, who will take event 1 here. Jonikowski gets in at about 10 minutes. 10 minutes is a great time. Callum Clements has been climbing every single round. A little slow in round 1, but he's been faster and faster. Clements rounding the turn, and he's going to try to get in here. Callum Clements, a very solid performance, 10:16. Thiago Lucis looks like he's going to be the next one in. Down there in the black. And Thiago Lucis will get on the mat 10:24 unofficially. Wow. Colin Bosshard, we're definitely going to go talk to him. Colin, the boss-hard of event number 1 here in Cordoba.
Y mucho ruido, familia, mucho ruido.
Silvia Garcia is going to hear it from the crowd.
Y a nuestra
Beloved athlete here in Spain. And she'll get in 10:55 unofficial. Very strung out here on the women's side in this final heat. Elisa Fuliano.
Ahí va, Elisa Fuliano.
Out of Italy. Get on the mat. 11:12 unofficial for Fuliano. Waiting to see if anyone else is coming around the turn here. It's Ben Lundberg, Howe, and Kieschmann in this battle. I see Simon Ashlund yelling. That probably means it's Lundberg, and it is. Emily Lundberg about 5 meters ahead of Taylor Howe here. Moving extremely well. Emily Lundberg gets in. 11:40, Taylor Howe.
Going to be closing it out.
Backing down the mat, 11:47. Kieschmann's going to be entering. She'll get in under 12 minutes, 11:51. And let's go see if we can talk to the boss man and get some insights into chasing down the Russian monster. Good workout, Roman. Colin,
As we wait, we can still see athletes just
You good?
make their way back.
can I ask you a couple of questions? You just hold it by your chin. Well, that was awesome. Obviously, there's a ton of good guys here. You've competed against some of them, but have you competed against Roman before?
No, never. My first time. Next time.
So first workout against, I mean, he's an intimidating guy. Great credentials, he's a big dude. And you just kind of set him up for that last run there, huh?
Yeah, I tried not to start too fast, to just be behind the Kenikov, and yeah, I did it. Ran to the last round, ran to the last 800 meters, and then I tried to sprint the last 400.
Yeah, and even though you haven't necessarily competed against him, you've been at the Europe semifinals, you've been at the IF3s. Do you feel like you've been gaining the experience needed to do well at a competition like this?
I did a lot of competitions in the past. I have the experience to do good also in such competitions.
Well, great start to the weekend, man. Always fun to see you out here. Very well done. Colin Bossard, winner of event 1 here in Cordoba.
Y familia necesita ayuda. Vamos a darle un aplauso.
Erdan Dolkac coming in.
A puntito de finalizar.
Can you do a question for me, Lucy? Just hold this, by your chin there. Lucy Campbell, great start to the weekend. How do you feel about the performance this morning?
It's a fun event. I think it's less than 800 meters, and I was a bit disappointed about that.
Pues muchísimas gracias y vamos a dar un fuertísimo aplauso a los vencedores de este hit. Lucy Campbell and Colin.
You don't have this weather. You don't have this weather in the UK right now.
No, I think we had 1 week like this 2 weeks ago, and then nothing since. So yeah, no, but really pleased with that. It's interesting, like obviously multiple heats, and there's going to be some people who this is their wheelhouse. So just trying to compete against the unknown.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool.
I think you ended up with the second fastest time, but you were kind of well ahead of most of the women in your heat. Was it nice to have the guys there to kind of pull you along?
Yeah, I was trying to chase Yonner at the end, but honestly, like I couldn't breathe, and I was like, anyway, just don't lose it, basically. But yeah, it was cool. It was cool.
Well, great start to the weekend. I know everyone's excited to see you out here, so we'll see you back in Málaga. Lucy Campbell, winner of her heat there, should be second in the event. And she said, not the weather from the UK, but she's making it work so far. Wodland Fest is underway. We got 3 days of competition. We're going to head back to Málaga, get inside the arena there at the University Sports Complex. We'll pick it up with event 2 this evening. For everyone here in Cordoba, my name is Brian Friend. Thank you guys for joining. See you this evening for test number 2.
Pues muchísimas gracias, familia. Menudo primer día, menudo primer evento. Este primer Wodland. El Puente Córdoba. Ahora volvemos a Málaga para seguir con el Wodland Fest.